From the Painted Desert to the Ponderosa Pines, the Grand Canyon State has towns and cities with unique names. So let's hit the road and find out what's in a name, Arizona.
I'm Brian Webb, and welcome to What's in a Name, Arizona. Today we visit Pres-kitt, once the territorial capital of Arizona, known for its historic courthouse, Whiskey Row right over there where the Earp brothers and Doc Holliday used to roam the streets before heading on down to Tombstone. And we're going to find out what kind of special treats you can get while you're in town. So let's find out how Pres-kitt, not Prescott, got its name. We are along the famous Whiskey Row in Pres-kitt at the place called The Palace with Martha McKeel. Martha, love your place. Tell me about the Palace.
Well, thank you. The Palace right here is actually the oldest bar in the state of Arizona.
Very cool.
We've been able to actually date the bar past 1877, what we thought was the earlier date, back actually more like 1867.
This bar, the real deal.
Right. Wow. So we're kind of famous for the day the big Whiskey Row fire started. That would have been July 14th, 1900. So about 50, 60 cowboys decided to save this bar. So they drug it out across the street, grabbed the piano, the liquor, everything that was important, and they got drunk while the town burned down.
How funny. So that's such a Pres-kitt story, isn't it?
It is.
And there's some ornery characters here back in the day, right?
Absolutely. Virgil Earp was our town constable. I believe it was 1878. Okay. And then Doc Holliday himself, they say, won $10,000 playing poker right here. Nice. And his girlfriend, Big Nose Kate, was actually dealing cards here as a senior citizen and is buried at our Pioneer Cemetery.
Were they in cahoots on that card game, do we know?
Oh, I'm sure they were.
They probably were.
They were a bunch of hustlers.
And was this like the size of it alone? Was this kind of the standout saloon back then?
Well, when they decided to rebuild it prior to the fire, it would have been kind of under one big roof. You would have the cabinet saloon, a bathhouse, and then the palace. Bob Brow owned the palace, and then Benny and Barney owned the cabinet. So after that fire, the three proprietors put their lot together and built this, and it was the most beautiful hotel you would have found in the West at the time.
And Whiskey Row itself, why was that such a thing that we still talk about to this day?
Well, they had over like 40 saloons on one little block at one time. And you had the miners, you had the cowboys. We also host the world's oldest rodeo here. And nowadays you got a lot of bikers and cowboys.
Such a great, rich history in this town and this spot we're sitting. So cool, Martha. Thanks for having us.
Well, thank you. We appreciate you guys coming. So in this area, you would have had the gambling. You find these peculiar little buttons under the ledges. There's one right there. There's a full set of them right here. And when I was in the archives, it said that they were used to summon a soiled dove down from her crib. And there is a bell system in between our bar and icebox that would in fact ring and point to your room number when your date was ready. And then the pit boss would be standing here. You'd have like the faro table, the poker, and he needed access to change. So you have that beautiful original DeBolt safe. And then you have the curious little door above it. Well, that was kind of the old eye in the sky. You'd have a gentleman sitting up there with a loaded double-barrel shotgun, making sure you were not cheating. So you've got some really nice artifacts in here, old guns, pocket watches, photos. You would have had a lot of mining claims bought and sold right over this old bar here. You'll find things like bullet holes up in the ceiling from rowdy cowboy times. You've got a lot of the artifacts from mining. It's both a museum, a great historic saloon, and we do really serve some of the best steak in Arizona. It's a very big part of not only history of Prescott, it's a big part of the history to Arizona.
The Marshal welcomes you to the historic palace. Come on down.
Here we are in Prescott with Stuart Rosebrook, the executive director here. Stuart, thanks for having us.
Oh, thank you, Brian.
It's a great place to be. Tell us where we are today, Stuart.
We're here at Charlotte Hall Museum. We're actually in the Fremont House. We're on 4 acres here in central Prescott. The museum was founded in 1928 by Charlotte Hall, our namesake, the territorial historian of Arizona in 1910, and one of the most prominent women in our state history.
Tell me about Prescott itself and why it's on the map.
Well, in 1863, President Lincoln decided that Arizona should be a territory to protect the gold fields that had been discovered here. So Lincoln said, and the Congress said, we need to form the territory of Arizona. When the governor's party said we need a better place for Fort Whipple and a territorial capital, and settled here along Granite Creek, that territorial leadership party decided on a more prominent name and decided to name it Prescott after one of the most famous American historians, William Prescott from Massachusetts.
Tell me about him.
Well, he's an interesting character because his family were Revolutionary War heroes. His grandfather was the hero of Bunker Hill, his father fought at Bunker Hill, and his cousin rode with Paul Revere and William Dawes on April 18th, 1775. Wow. You know, it was warned the British are coming. Yeah. So he comes from a very old New England family, and he'd become this great American historian and written a bestseller, if you can believe this, on the history of the conquest of Mexico. Territorial Secretary McCormick, Richard McCormick, had read this book, had it with him, and said, this is a great American. And his description of this part of the world, I think he represents everything that's good about this country, and we should name our town about him.
Wow. So he really had no direct connection to this territory. He just had a great name.
That's right. And he had died actually in 1859. He was not even alive. Did not even know that this town in Arizona would be named after him.
And not Prescott, but Pres-kitt. How did that part happen?
Well, the story is Prescott and Prescott. Prescott is a very old English name. And there was actually a British general in the Revolutionary War who was fighting Prescott's family members in New England during the war. And so to distinguish themselves from the British, they adopted another pronunciation, Pres-kitt. And like we like to say here, Press-kitt like a biscuit versus Prescott. Prescott was the first territorial capital of Arizona, and it became a bustling hub of commerce. Stage roads were built between here and Santa Fe. Trails were developed. So this was a hub of early Arizona. And if you really wanted to know what was going on in Arizona, Prescott was one of the places to come to.
And now we know the great history of this town.
That's right.
And Prescott, not Prescott. Take that, British.
That's exactly right.
All right, we've moved down the street because I'm getting hungry, and I'm with Diane Babb at Pralines of Prescott, and I'm getting hungry just by smelling things in here, Diane. It looks great. How'd you decide to open a praline candy shop in the middle of Prescott?
Yeah, absolutely. So we actually bought Pralines of Prescott in 2017. The business has been around since 1991 actually here in Prescott. All handmade chocolates. My husband and I used to live in Vegas, and we wanted a hometown to raise our kids in. So we looked around and we found Pralines of Prescott in the best town ever.
True that. And then what about just candy itself? Is that a love of yours? In particular, did you learn to love it?
Yeah, so my mom and I always had this fantasy of let's open a chocolate shop. So that's kind of where it stemmed from. I was actually in education before this, and my husband was in private security. So we've just kind of evolved into bringing people joy.
The local Willy Wonka.
Yes, right? Exactly, yes.
Speaking of education, you're going to teach me how to do a thing or two, right?
Yes,
let's get to it. I'm ready to go.
So we're going to make one of our traditions because we are in Prescott, and we have the world's oldest rodeo. So we're going to make what we call a rodeo, okay? So I'll do one, and then you can do another one. All right. So this is our delicious caramel, nice and warm to perfect temperature. And we are going to take this and we're going to drizzle.
You could just end it right there and I could eat it.
We could, you know.
Okay, it's a little drizzle going here.
And we're going to get that into a nice circular pattern here. And
Oh gosh.
There we go.
Oh no, now the pressure's on.
Here we go.
There's
You
no
got
way I
this.
can do that.
Oh, yes, you can.
Round and round about, and I pick it like enough. Is that enough?
Yes, that's
Okay.
perfect.
And I just pick a spot.
Yep.
And here we go.
Fantastic.
Around and round. Do you have any openings right now in case you need me to come back and, you know, help out?
Oh, absolutely. And you are doing fabulous with this. So
I don't know about
You are a
that.
pro. And then give it a little twirl, and there you go. So that's our first step to making a rodeo.
How about that?
Fantastic.
What happens next? So what do we do? Throw it in the fridge?
Yep, get this in the fridge.
Let's do it.
We have our carameled rodeos. Now this is a full tray of rodeos.
How long have they been in the fridge?
They've been about 5 minutes in the
Do
fridge.
they expand?
Yeah, well, that just depends on how big you lay down your
I
caramel
could have
layer.
made mine bigger.
You could have, yes.
All right.
Okay, so now we have our nuts, caramel. Time to get some chocolate on there. I'll do one, and then we'll let you
enough.
do a couple. So you're gonna kind of make it just right in the center. Pour that chocolate, and then when we're done, we're gonna give this a little,
Oh, okay.
and that spreads that out nice and pretty.
Okay, let's see if I can handle
All right.
that. All right, I'm going with this one right here. A little dabble, do ya?
Yes.
Right about
Love
there.
it, yeah.
And then I would do a little
Perfect.
shake here.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
Mine looks like the shape
okay.
of
You can add
Australia.
more. You can add more chocolate if you need more chocolate.
Such a unique, you know.
Yeah.
That's definitely me. You can tell that's definitely my handiwork. All right, let's say we have a finished
Yes,
example here of the good stuff, right? This,
So now,
oh my goodness.
finished rodeos ready to eat. Feel free to take whichever one.
Can I have one? I can have one?
Oh yeah,
here we go.
absolutely.
I'm going in, baby.
Yep.
You have me at caramel, but that is delicious.
Well, and technically it counts as a protein bar, so it's a health food.
We're using calories up as I chew.
There we go.
What can people see when they come in here? What's your big seller, and what can they get when they come in here?
Yeah, absolutely. So here, our mission is to bring people joy. So you're going to get great service, great quality items, delicious coffee, full coffee bar. But really, it's our rodeos, our Victoria toffee, gelato, pastries, all the good stuff. If it brings you joy, we got it.
Can I move in?
Absolutely. I got a room upstairs.
Thanks, Diane. Deal.
Thank you. We appreciate you.
Good stuff. So there you have it, Prescott, Arizona, from the courthouse to Whiskey Row to some sweet treats. And hey, we even had a surprise spring snowstorm today. You never know what you're gonna get in northern Arizona. Hope you had a little fun along the way, and we'll see you next time on What's in a Name, Arizona.